Good morning. It's 7 a.m. I just had my coffee and my vitamin C in the garden. Uh, Getting the feedback from the viewers of my previous blogs, I admit that the length of my videos were a bit too taxing. So here is an episode that will serve as a respite from all the, I would say, boring lectures. Of course, lectures about physiology tend to be boring, especially if you sit down for an hour or more. So I will do away with that for this episode, and I'll just show you one of the low carb. Well, I hope this will pass the standards of Dr. Josephine Grace Rojo Tan as far as a low carb breakfast is concerned. So here you see I have a fruit. This is an Asian pear. And then I'll have some homemade yogurt. I made yogurt myself using an instant pot. And you might be wondering where I sourced the starter for this yogurt. Well, I am a dairyman, so it should be no problem for me. I can get the real starter cultures from my friends at the Dairy Training and Research Institute. Why not? But it's the Christmas season and I don't want to bother them somehow. So what I did, I just bought UHT full cream milk. Okay. UHT full cream milk, and I think I bought 2 liters of it. It's the full cream milk that contains around 3.4% of fat. The dairyman that I am, of course, tells me that I have to practice what I preach. You see, I handle courses in dairy science, particularly dairy production, advanced dairy production, and even lactation physiology. So I know, rest assured that I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this is unflavored yogurt, and the beauty with the instant pot is that it serves as an incubator for the production of yogurt. Now take a look. So see the consistency of my yogurt. It's a little bit thick, and I am able to do that based on the principles that were taught to me by Miss Ione Sarmago, who is a dairy technologist at the Dairy Training and Research Institute. So to make your yogurt, homemade yogurt, thick, there are only 2 ways. One is to steam off the extra moisture by heating it in a pan or in a pot. That is removing the excess moisture that you need in milk. And this reduces the moisture so that the total solids of the yogurt are increased. The other way is just simply to have your volume of milk, add skim milk, But in my case, I added full cream milk powder and mix it in the instant pot and set it to yogurt. The setting is yogurt, and it takes about 8 hours to make the yogurt. But the result is very good. Actually, this yogurt is already, I think, my third, and every time I make the yogurt myself, I always end up with the consistency like this. So just to guide you, if you want to make your own yogurt, for every liter of milk, full cream milk, I don't recommend skim milk. There is just no taste for skim milk. The taste is very weird, I should say. And if I handle the basic courses in animal science, particularly that of dairy, I ask my students what the taste of skim milk is, if ever they have tasted one. Because the trend right now is that they sell skim milk even in liquid form, and surprisingly, the price is even higher than full cream milk, and that's strange, in the sense that you take out the cream to get skim milk, and yet you pay more for the skim milk. That's, for a dairyman like me, that is just a big joke. So anyway, teaching my students in class and asking them about the taste of skim milk, I would usually tell them, okay, take a piece of paper, and almost everybody is surprised because they think I'm going to give them a quiz, but it's not. So anyway, they take a piece of paper out. I said, put it in your mouth. Chew it. Now, what taste do you get? And they always say, tastes like wet paper. Yes, that's true, and that's the taste of skim milk. So you will not enjoy your skim milk because there is no fat, there is no flavor. So for the low carb dieters, I recommend do not be afraid of the fat. So use full cream milk instead. Now, if you can get the high fat milk, like the milk from Jerseys, which is on average about 4% fat, the better. If you can also source out Carabau's milk, whose fat percentage is around, it hovers from 9 to 12%. That's very rich and very creamy. That would make a very, very good yogurt also. Anyway, so I have already added the preserves. So this is blueberry, and this is orange marmalade, just to flavor, to add a little sweetness. Of course, I do not want to add artificial sweeteners. They're even worse than the natural sugar. So anyway, let's give it a taste. That is my yogurt. It's good. Okay. Now, most doctors will advise you to shun away from dairy products. Well, I think these doctors are not trained on dairy science. And they say, and they claim, that milk is not a good food because it is only for calves. You know, it's very easy to refute what they say. If that is the case, that milk is not intended for humans, then why is it that in the Bible the mention of a land flowing with milk and honey is made more than 30 times? Also, if Canaan or Israel, as it is later called, would have been the promised land for the chosen people, the Israelites, would God be kidding them if God told them that I will place you in a land flowing with milk and honey? I don't know. You be the judge. Probably God was not joking. But the intention is probably giving a hint to the chosen people to consume dairy. Okay, the other issue about dairy is that, well, some doctors, I'm sorry, but these doctors are not well informed. So they go with the fad of saying that milk contains a type of protein which is called casein, and the structure of the casein is varied in the sense that there is a type of casein in milk that is normally consumed. It comes from probably the Holstein breed, and the milk is classified A1 because some form of mutation happened in the breeding and selection of this breed of cows, the Holstein breed. Now, they say and they blame that the type of casein that is found in this milk A1 is responsible for the disorders that you get when you consume dairy. So I just laugh at them because they don't know what they're saying, especially the doctors who say that no, you should not consume dairy products because the protein component, which is casein, is not good for your health. Come on. Again, I just remind these doctors, please, the Bible must be wrong if you say that. So anyway, what is A1 compared to the other type of the casein that you find in milk, which is called A2? Now, it happens that the difference between A1 and A2 milk is this. There is a certain segment in that structure of the protein, the casein, which is different, and it differs by, I think, the attachment of one or two amino acids. And so, as I was saying, the difference between A1 and A2 milk is just a few amino acids in that chain of protein. The chain of amino acids in that protein. A1 is the result of the genetic mutation that was caused by intensive selection and breeding of the Holstein breed. A2 is actually the older type of casein that is found in the milk of domestic animals. Now, at this point, let me tell you that, well, for the Philippines, I think it has been established that Carabao's milk is largely composed of A2 type milk. And these faddists who are followed by these human doctors, you know, they recommend A2 milk. And they say they believe the advertisement that A2 is better than A1 type of milk because, well, it promotes better digestion, there are fewer allergies, and so on and so forth. But the difference is not so much, except for the price. A2 type milk probably would cost twice as much as the price of A1 milk. Anyway, for those who are convinced by this false information being peddled even by human doctors, I'm sorry for that statement, but I'd like to correct it. Meaning, correct that impression that milk is bad for you. You see, if you are lactose intolerant, it only means that you cannot take in lactose in its basic sugar form. Your digestive system cannot take it. They cannot digest lactose. And so what do you end up with? Well, for lactose intolerant people, they actually lack the enzyme lactase in the gut, which is of course present in babies, infants, and young children. That enables the lactose to be broken down in the gut and formed into lactic acid. Or, if not lactic acid, then lactose being a complex sugar of glucose and galactose, that in the gut, if you have lactase, lactose will be broken down into glucose and the other sugar, which is galactose. Of course, galactose comes from glucose. So you need in the synthesis of lactose, you need two molecules of glucose. One remains as is and is taken up by the cell, the mammary gland cell, and the other molecule of glucose is transformed into the sugar galactose and then bound together to form lactose. Now, for lactose intolerant people, it's very easy. You want to take dairy, but you cannot because you are afraid of the effects of lactose intolerance. All you need to do is prepare this. So, yogurt will definitely contain lactose, but it has been reduced by fermentation to lactic acid. So, do not fear and do not believe what other doctors say that, if you are lactose intolerant, you should get away from the consumption of milk. And that's not true. You can actually easily transform the lactose into lactic acid when you ferment it like in yogurt. So I hope the doctors who believe and recommend dairy-free meals or diets should take heed. This is coming from a dairyman. So, if you are lactose intolerant, you can still take dairy products. One product that you can get or eat is yogurt. The other, of course, is cheese. And yogurt and cheese have been there for eons. Of course, the primary reason why cheese and yogurts have been developed is simply because the ancient people wanted to store these dairy products for a long time. And they were able to come up with yogurt and cheese. So as far as yogurt is concerned, the story goes, there were some travelers in the desert and they needed to bring in supplies, particularly milk, but that at the time that these were transported, I think they used the forestomach of a ruminant, probably a goat, uh, and you know, the stomach, the true stomach of, let's say, young ruminants secrete a certain kind of enzyme which is called renin. And renin basically coagulates the solids, particularly the proteins in milk. And because in the desert the temperatures were a little bit high, so some form of fermentation occurred. And after maybe a day or two of traveling in the desert, when these travelers wanted to take a drink of the milk that they had with them, it has soured, of course, but it was not spoiled. Okay, and that's the story of how yogurt began. Now, as far as cheeses is concerned, well, we take the example of the dairy farmers in the Alps. So during the summer, the spring and summer, they bring their dairy cows to high up, to places high up in the Alps, where the grass and the forage is lush and green and plentiful. And because it is in the Alps, so you need to climb the Alps, of course. And since these are dairy animals pastured in the highlands of the Alps, then it would be a problem of transporting the milk down to the cantons or towns of Switzerland, for example. So what the dairy farmers did was to store the milk and somehow coagulated this milk, and they formed cheeses. So these are the basic cheeses that you find. Actually exquisite cheeses with great flavor because they have been properly made in the mountains and aged until it's time to go down the Alps, for example, when late autumn or the winter comes. So instead of transporting fresh milk in its liquid form, all the farmers need to do was to transport the cheese in block forms. It can be in the form of wheel or in blocks, like rectangular blocks, and it would have saved the effort, the money, as well as the volume of milk that has been produced upland. That's cheese. Okay, so again, this is good breakfast. I'm having. Let's eat. Take a piece of the so-called, well, whole wheat bread. I have this cream cheese with garlic. And instead of mayonnaise, I just use this cream cheese, herb cream cheese in place of mayo. I put in a slice of ham and some cheese, of course. There. The cheese I'm using is Monterey Jack, and I think it comes from the US, or is it probably Australia or Denmark. And then another piece of bread. That should be good eats. Okay, and follow it up with spoonfuls of yogurt. Mm. This should power me for the whole day. And of course, after finishing the yogurt and the sandwich, I just cut this pear. This is a better source of crude fiber than what is claimed as whole wheat, because I don't believe this contains a lot of fiber. Rather, it contains a lot of simple carbohydrates, which is readily digestible. So anyway, the lesson I learned from Dr. Lastig is this: the fruit has been packaged by nature for us to eat. So if you can eat everything, including the seed, it's better for you. But take note that this fruit, which is an Asian pear, has this rind or peel. This contains a lot of crude fiber. So, just put it in your mouth and enjoy. That's a good pear. Of course, this type of pear is also used by the Koreans. They add it to the marinade for their bulgogi. It tenderizes the meat as well. So that, my friends, is my power breakfast. Probably the next meal I'll have will be around 4, 5, or 6 p.m. So that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you are not swallowing your saliva by now. But that's how it is. It's low carb. And even if you see a supposedly whole wheat bread here, again, I repeat, this is not considered low carb. Although, most likely they put in more crude fiber, which is good. And take note, in low carb diets, from time to time, you can cheat. I'm cheating. Anyway, so that's my breakfast, and I end it here, of course, with a spoonful of yogurt. This is just yummy. And so, before I end, I'd like to shout out to the viewers who asked me to shorten the videos. We have Jed Yebron. Hi, Doc Jed. So here it is. Probably this is more presentable than just a lecture type blog. Also shout out to a very good friend since childhood, Miss Adnerb Onirg. I think she lives in Chicago. Thank you for your tips and comments about the improvement of the blog, and proof of this, that I listen to your comments and suggestions, is this blog. So I hope I can make a video that is about half an hour long, and that should be enough to for you to finish viewing the episode. So at this point, thank you for watching. This is life, basically. So again, I'd say in parting, enjoy your life, enjoy your friends, and most importantly, enjoy your food. Good day. See you next episode. Bye bye.